We are returning as far as possible to the lives that we lived before the pandemic.
Music to many's ears, South Africa now entering a new phase of the COVID-19 restriction. In the last so-called family meeting on the 28th of November 2021, the president kept the country at lockdown level 1 of the national state of disaster. Now government has further eased the regulations.
Due to the progress that has been made through our collective efforts, we intend to lift the national state of disaster.
South Africa has been under the third level 1 lockdown since October last year. Now with the Easter weekend around the corner, many can breathe a sigh of relief.
Cabinet has decided to ease several restrictions as part of adjusted level 1. The restrictions on gatherings are being significantly changed. In previous regulations, the emphasis was on placing an upper limit on the number of people who could attend a gathering. The approach now going forward is that both indoor and outdoor venues can now take up to 50% of their capacity, provided that the criteria for entrance at those venues is proof of vaccination or a COVID test not older than 72 hours.
Another thing they had to get used to was the wearing of masks. That has also changed.
We still need to wear masks when in facilities like shops, malls, offices, factories, taxis, buses, trains, or any other indoor place.
There are also changes regarding international travel.
Travelers entering South Africa will need to show proof of vaccination or a negative PCR test not older than 72 hours.
The number of people attending funeral has been increased from 100 to 200, with night vigils and after tears still prohibited. Social distancing of 1 meter must be maintained. SABC News, Johannesburg.
We welcome the scrapping of some of the requirements for international travelers. We've long called in particularly for easing of red tape as it pertains to tourism, because we're of the view that we want to make sure that tourists start visiting South Africa again in order for us to start retaining jobs.
If I were in his boots, I would have said, I'm lifting these regulations and say, if the pandemic worsens again, I will bring back these stringent regulations. For now, people are free. We would be celebrating today.
We welcome the fact that steps are now being taken to take the country out of the state of disaster. We fundamentally believe that the country has turned the corner and that we now need to focus on the greatest responsibility of growing the economy, creating jobs and taking people out of poverty and the suffering which they have actually had to endure.
The president is no more consulting opposition parties when it comes to decisions on this deadly virus called COVID-19. And it makes a mockery of this thing. The president has turned us now into spectators, and we are lawmakers. It can't be that the president just address the nation and we must also just hear what the president is saying.
If more and more of our people are vaccinated, we will be able to ultimately get out of this lockdown regulations that we are having to endure. Because the best weapon that we have against this COVID-19 pandemic under the conditions is vaccination.